I truly think that postpartum care is not just about the fourth trimester. After you have a baby, we talk about first, second, and third trimester. Postpartum is a way of life after you choose to welcome a new baby in your home. And I truly think that self-care is one of the most important things that we need to do, but we always think caregiving needs to happen to someone else and don't believe we're worthy of care. And so what I always like to use is the modified, it's called the nurse approach. And so when I think about and I educate moms, I always try to make sure to have them use that. And nurse stands for N for nourishment, U for understanding, which is giving yourself grace, so self-grace. R is for rest and relaxation. S is for support system and spirituality. And E is for exercise and education. And so if you frame how to care for yourself within this nurse approach, I think it touches on all the different aspects. You need to be the best parent that you can be, even though that's a learning process, and be the best self you can be. And I think to be able to be a good mother, you have to be good to self first. And I tell people to do it from the nurse approach. The thing that I don't think a lot of women give themselves is self-grace, understanding that this is a new process. And even when you have 50 kids, it's a new process 50 different times, right? And every time you got to give yourself a little bit more grace to just figure it out and be okay with the process, even if the end result's not what you wanted, but to have understanding in the process. And the only way you do that is through self-grace. In America, I think it's harder because it's expected to be done alone. Because some people, buy babies, have to go through fertility, you do so much to get this. And so I think women have gotten to the point where they're afraid to ask for help because you've wanted something so hard. And if you wanted something so badly, you should have had a plan on how to care for it. And I think it's because we're expected to do things alone. So I don't think the postpartum by itself, the word postpartum is the problem. The problem is that very few babies, even if they're made outside of the traditional way, weren't made alone. And so parenting shouldn't be done alone. And unfortunately, a lot of people have to parent alone. And so just the idea that even if you don't have the partner, you have to have a team. And I don't think people think about that enough. And so it's a reality check that people are unprepared for. We spend so much time talking about what birth control are you going to breastfeed, all this other nonsense that's short phase, unless you breastfeed for 10 years like some people. But we don't talk about how your life will be forever changed. And so I think the most important education that you should get, especially from your midwife, should be how to live life after you've gone through this transition, this change. All that other stuff we talk about for 9 to 10 months, that's over there. But this is from here until they're married and somewhere else. And I think we don't properly appropriate our time in how we counsel women. You can read a fairy tale, but you still don't know how it ends. It can be a horror movie, but you still don't know how it's going to end. We don't know. And so the thing is, our perception is so tainted or influenced by what we've read, by what we've seen, by what they say on TV and social media, and it's very seldom is painted the authentic picture that it is once it's lived. And so I think our perceptions is what causes postpartum causes us to be so unprepared for the postpartum period, because we didn't imagine, right? Because that wasn't what we thought about. So, I think the best advice that we can give as midwives, as women, that have birth kit or when, people, is that just to be okay with the journey. Don't expect it, because when you have expectations, then that's when you become disappointed. All you need to know is that you're going to do it the best way you know how, and to give yourself that self-grace, to be okay with it not being done the way that you thought it should be done, or the way that your mom did. Especially in the Black community, I'm very into advocacy about breaking, intergenerational curses. You have the ability to change the narrative. Write your own story. Don't read someone else and pretend and hope that you were in it. Write your own story, and if you don't like the chapter that you're in, write the next. I think it's important to make sure that when you think about a postpartum support circle, you have to build it before the baby comes. A lot of times people try to, scavenge all their resources once the baby's here, but I truly believe that people need to do planning. Part of being able to transition into parenthood is to plan. And so you get 10 months, but most people don't start making plans for the postpartum period until after the baby shower. And for most women, that's it, the last month or so. And so I always encourage people to do what I call, planning peace. Center themselves in the middle. First, you need to just take some time to just pause and just be in the moment. And then you center yourself mentally, and then imagine yourself in a bubble of peace. You should be in the middle, and then you think about at least 3 people that can be supportive to you. And it can be an organization, it can be a support group, it can be, just a place of peace that are peace guardians and peacekeepers to help you be your best self. And so what I always tell people to do, draw something like this, put yourself in the middle, and then these are the people that you would call, and these are the numbers. And I tell people, put it in a sheet protector and put it on your refrigerator so that you and whoever your support system is can be. If you let people know that they're your person, the people that you put in a circle needs to be someone that you can call in the middle of the night and they won't question you and make you feel bad, So it may be your mom. Could be someone in your first call. Because if you call your mom and say, Mom, I need help, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, Mom's coming. Your second person may be, it may be your in-laws. It may be, your girlfriend that got 5 kids of her own, but you need someone right now and they'll come help you. The third circle may be diva. It may be ECFE. It may be your clinic. It may be the social worker. It can be someone that you've tried these other people and you still feel like your needs are not getting met. And then there are systems, believe it or not, that's out here that's trying to help you, be your best you. And so I tell people this is something that you need to really think about and create and plan for. You can't wait till you need them to call. And if we actually think about who that is, then I always believe, like we talk about in midwifery, if you have a plan for a C-section, then you may not need it. But when we talk about write down everything, and then hopefully you won't need it. But if you think that through and you let them know ahead of time, then people are more likely to be willing to help you because they know you're going to depend on them. I always say that smart moms ask for help, but smarter moms accept it. We cannot be afraid to ask for help, and we can't be too proud to accept help. And that can be big and that can be little, but the truth is, life was not meant to be done alone. Darn sure not parenting. So don't think you need to do it all. We're here, and we want to help. And if you ask for help and you don't get it, then move to that next circle. Don't stop asking for help until you get it.